Welcome to the podcast. This is the 8G podcast, and we're doing another full English episode because I have another English speaking guest.
What do you mean? I can speak other languages, man.
I know you can, and those are. I wouldn't attempt to force you there. I'm with Mr. Nomad. If you have been following MLBB, you might have heard, Yep, because the last time that you were there as a full caster was season 7. You were part of it ever since. Interestingly, was season 4, season 3.
No, season 2.
Season 2. That's right.
I started season 2. Season 1, I was part of the social media team. I was the head of the social media team. Season 1, the whole hashtag Be Legendary thing.
Right. We're gonna be talking about that later. But one thing that I would have you know is Mr. Jiro Pineda.
Oh wait. Before we start.
What? Oh, come on. This is supposed to be PG. No, just kidding.
No PG on my watch. You take a shot, I take a shot. I am not an alcoholic.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers. No, give me a toast, man.
Cheers.
Just to get the creative juices flowing.
All right. Oh, here. Yeah, I'm with. Immediately gets drunk. I don't know. One thing that I want to say about the podcast is that after 12 episodes, I believe, before this is episode number 13, which is perfect. Good number.
Why is it? Why is 13 a good number?
It's my birthday. See, that's perfect.
No, it makes sense. All right.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Got him. But yeah, since we're in episode 13, and we've run through 12 episodes of very serious stuff, and I gotta say, that kind of felt like there should be an episode where we kind of get unhinged a little. We kind of just relax, enjoy talking with people, and show a different side of Wolf and a guest.
So I'm that token friend that really just makes you fucked up. I have a sailor mouth, by the way. I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Maybe the people don't even know what a sailor mouth is.
I have a bad mouth. I have a dirty mouth.
There he is. But yeah, do you want to be that token friend though?
I mean, I already am.
Give him a fist bump. All right. Now we're on it. So that is the episode. For all of those who look up to myself and to Nomad and to all of the casters out there, fair warning, this episode will be a pretty chill episode. It's going to be like we just want to tell stories.
No
basically.
professionalism. No, there's still going to be professionalism. There are some things that we can't talk about, but we're pretty much going to talk about. Yeah. We're pretty much going to be around the bush on that.
That's right. So I'm happy to present to you our guest, Mr. Nomad, aka Jiro P, aka Limber. What's that?
Limber
Pineda. Yep. He was part of the casting group. You know him. Most of you guys know him.
I hope.
As part of the English and Tagalog broadcast as a caster. But what you don't know about him is he actually started and recently just became back end once again. So can you tell us a little bit about that first? Like what sort of back end we were talking about? Because there's a lot of like
the history. I see. All right. So we're gonna go back to 2016 for this. February 2016 was when I first started working in Mineski. I started working in Mineski as an article writer, content manager for Mineski.net, specifically for CSGO.
Okay.
Because I was the FPS guy, and then we had Melo, Carmelo Fabi, Melo as the League of Legends guy, and then Juno 9001 as the Dota guy, and our editor-in-chief.
That's right.
So, funnily enough, I met Wolf through Mineski.net. He was one of our outsourced writers.
That's right.
You were specifically made for Dota 2.
That's right.
And my entire job for Mineski during 2016 was basically just writing articles. But my first ever esports event was ESL 1 Manila.
That's right.
The same ESL 1 Manila. I think I'm going to go after Leo's podcast. The same ESL 1 Manila where Leo was there.
Yep, that's right.
Remotely.
Yeah.
intertwined, and
I think-
so to speak.
Yeah. So there was a time in our lives where you, Leo, myself, probably Manjin and Butters, and actually Midnight because he was part of the.
He was part of C Sports back then.
Was it C Sport or was it Gosu Gamers? It may be
No,
Gosu
C
Gamers.
Sports. Gosu Gamer. I met the guy for Gosu Gamers. It was Malix Rix.
No, it was Dota. No, he wasn't. It was
He was Gosu.
was he Gosu? No, Malistrix was different. No.
Malix Rix was Gosu Gamers back then.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, I'm not kidding. Midnight was there. ESL Manila. I can remember.
Yeah.
So
That's
the
when I
thing.
first met Midnight too.
Yeah. So yeah, that was a part of our lives where we were still separated, but we shared the same building. I guess. Whatever. So yeah, we met. I was a writer, which is it was that was the cool story out there, and I want to interrupt your story because my story comes in afterwards because
Go for it.
like when I met you, you had a mohawk, I think.
Oh, don't even get me there.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't a mohawk. It was an elongated man bun. Like it was fucking. It was like this long.
Yeah, I remember.
From the top of my head, it was this long.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had that hair, and I always wore a cap.
Yeah, and you had a different aura because you're an FPS guy. You speak in English and you have a good voice.
What do you mean? I never.
The first time you spoke to me, you were speaking in English. Maybe because you think that I don't know.
No,
No, you were.
no,
I'm not kidding.
No,
Absolutely, you were.
You call him a liar?
You call me a liar?
I'm not calling it. All right, fine. This is your show. Fine. all right.
Yeah, you were.
Fuck it, I guess. All right, I was speaking English back in the past. All right.
Yeah, but yeah, I was amazed of your voice, which I'm still am. Good quality voice.
The only asset I have.
Well, I will not agree
The only
nor
other
disagree.
asset you have.
But yeah, I mean, so that happened and ESL happened. The thing is, because it was an event in ESL, although it was just 2 days, I think.
No, it was a 3-day weekend.
3-day weekend. So we met. We have to have a meeting before we were planning, and I have to say, I have a fair amount of hours spent with you guys because we were stuck in the press room.
Oh yeah,
we
press room.
It was pretty busy. Take care, man.
See ya.
And the thing is, yeah, we bonded and we became friends. I think we were okay, like work wise back then.
Yeah, we did.
So we can consider ourselves friends, and then we added each other on Facebook whatsoever, and so that happened, and then ESL happened. GG Network got me because if you don't know this, I am not getting paid by Mineski back then. They promised to pay me, but they didn't. That's the thing.
I know what happened there, but I can't talk about it.
Yeah, it was
I
2016.
Esports was a different beast.
It was a
back
different
then.
beast, and honestly, whatever they promised me, the amount it was pretty small, But to me, that was precious. But the fact that I got to ESL One Manila and I got to meet my idols, I'm already okay with that. Am I gonna do it again? Probably not. Right? Knowing what I know now, I'm not gonna do it again. But back then, I did it.
Definitely.
Right. So it was all about passion whatsoever. So I got the GG Network. Now, when I was working GG Network, I already saw you guys posting about caster editions.
Now here's a funny thing.
Okay.
You didn't go through the caster edition.
That's right. Because
it was during
Boston Major.
the Boston Major hashtag Boston Mejas.
Yeah.
That was the hashtag we went through there. It was pretty stupid. It was pretty fucking dumb.
Yeah.
But it was fun. Anyway.
was fun.
So the story there was that we were doing a coverage there, and we had a rotation of talents. Like we had Denki, we had Duno, we had Lon come by from time to time. But then it wasn't really a lot of talent.
Yeah, you literally mentioned 3, dude.
Yeah. And then all of a sudden, Ruben, a mutual friend of ours who also worked in Mineski, Mineski TV during that time.
That's right.
He brought you to the studio. It's like when Ruben knocked on the door, opened the door for the studio, and I saw he was like, "Hey, nice to see you." Hey, all right.
Yeah.
And then you sat on the desk with Denki.
Yep.
And that's when the magic started for you.
Yeah, that's right. So that story, at least on my part, is that you guys posted the audition way before Boston Major.
Really?
Yeah, you did. And I think you weren't able to get any Dota. Because I think that was the audition that actually landed Manjin on...
No, Manjin was part of the roster in 20...
No. Like I said, like...
way back.
That's right.
Okay.
But I'm no longer part of Mineski.net. So the reason why I messaged Ruben to get into the broadcast was you guys were posting jokingly that, hey, we need casters. And I kind of felt like, because everybody like posted like Denki, I was friends with Denki, and I think Juno also posted about it. Or yeah, some of the friends that I met in Mineski through ESL1, you all blasted like, hey, we need a caster, because you actually needed a caster. Like literally.
We did.
So the story, guys, was Boston Major was an event for Dota 2, and Dota 2 is a very long game.
It's a very strenuous game. If you think, sorry, I'm just poking through memories here because season 7 was my last MLBB. If you, it was the Bren versus Omega game 3, 50-minute game. That's normal for Dota.
Exactly.
That's hella normal.
Hella normal. You expect. So imagine that. And then they were playing in Boston. So the time zone is different.
Yeah.
And they only have, literally, that day that I got there, they only have 2 casters. They only have Denki and
I think it was a Butter.
Duno.
Oh, was it Duno?
No,
it was Denki and Duno. Because Butters, you... and a bunch of other guys just... Manjin was way back because he was part of the League of Legends roster. Yeah. He was mostly League of Legends. That's why he went to Garena, but he's a Mineski TV talent.
That's right.
And then he he's always liked Dota.
Yeah.
So it was just natural for him to transition from, hey, Garena's not dying, but not a lot of League events. All right, let's cast some Dota. And I guess that's where Manjin came from. Anyway. So
imagine this. They only have 2 guys. Dude, you only have 2 guys. And what you decided to do was, hey, what if Duno casts the second half of the day? The first half of the day would be Denki. They will all cast solo. That was your decision.
That wasn't my decision.
Well, of course.
I'm not part of the production team back then. Just to, let it out there. I'm not part of the production team. I was part of the Mineski.net, the news team.
Yeah, the publication.
We're a completely different arm there.
Right.
So whatever you guys were doing, whatever Mineski TV was doing there, we were just reporting on what's happening.
That's right. But you're in the same room, which kind of made me think that, okay, that's the way that it registered to me is that, oh my God, they're desperate for a caster. Maybe I can have a shot,
Maybe.
Yeah. So what happened was, the Denki was already casting when I got there. Ruben ushered me to that place, and he said like, "Hey, this guy wants to go get an audition." Denki, imagine this situation: the game is already ongoing. It was the draft. Denki was like,
"I'm Denki."
Yeah.
Hey, do you cast? Answer.
Yes,
right.
I want to.
Sit down here.
Yeah, like audition.
No audition. He just sat down there. A headset. He finally wore his headset for the first time.
That's right.
Ever. And then he just delivered the best analysis.
Whoa! Hey. Yeah, but thank you.
We're getting there. Because you said it yourself.
Yeah.
You said it yourself earlier when we were just walking around Rockwell.
That's right.
Like, that was the first time Denki asked a question. You answered with a proper answer.
That's right. Yeah. The thing is like okay, so if you don't know, there's the meta was like Medusa and Drow Ranger. I remember back then, and then there's that team that picked it up, which is not natural. But then a team picks up Phantom Assassin, which was never picked up before, and I was able to answer the question that Denki did. Although it was honestly, I think that that question that he asked probably was just like more like a test, or maybe something like does this guy know what he's talking about kind of thing. It's like, it doesn't really have, it's very difficult to answer. That's what I'm trying to say, right? Because it's off meta, whatever. And then I answer like, oh, the mischance, whatever. And then the dive also, the composition. And then Denki was amazed. What made me really think that, what made me really feel that they liked what I did was the director, which is Bloody Massacre.
Yeah, Calvin.
And when you see that guy, you know that he is like he does not talk to you. He's that kind of guy, right? But then he approached me and said, "Hey, you did a great job," which I felt like, "Hey, you strike me as a guy that doesn't talk a lot, but you got impressed and kind of felt good afterwards."
That was a handshake. Yeah,
Yeah, I was like,
you did good, fam.
Yeah, and yeah, that's the story. I remember like they asked me to return the next day, which is great. Like, yeah,
Yeah, and then for the next week, you were stuck there with us in the studio,
Yep.
eating fucking. I think it was no, that was a different time. That's a different story. But TLDR, Manjin and I made rice with clam chowder, and the
I wasn't
rice
there.
was undercooked.
I think that was a different event.
That was a different. Oh, that was Selangor Thai Greens. That's a different story altogether.
Yeah.
I'll go through that. I'll go through that with the story.
Yeah. What we wanted to tell you guys is that the state of esports like 7 years ago was abysmal.
7 years.
Was 7
Wow,
years.
it's been a long time.
It's been a long time. 7 years ago was abysmal. We're not getting paid properly. That's why we had to. I mean, it's not the organizer's fault. It's just that there's no money.
There's no money there.
Yeah.
There was a time.
Yeah.
I know we're supposed to be talking about the origins of how I started
Yeah.
and everything else, but we gotta go through this. There was a time in esports where I think it was season 2 of MPL. No, it was season 2 of MPL.
Okay.
I would drop MPL during that time to pick up another gig because that other gig paid better than MPL.
Yep.
I would do that just because I needed the money.
Yeah,
during
we
that
all needed the money back then. Just to illustrate, right? In 2016, if you get paid 500 pesos,
That was big.
that was already like that is like every caster would want to get that. Hey, I want to be part of that project because it pays 500.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
then when you first got like a 4-digit salary off
Yeah.
of a gig, like let's just
day.
say 1,000 pesos a day.
Yep.
Big whoop. Oh my god, what the fuck? This dude gets paid 1,000 a day.
Yep.
That's big.
And everybody was like, "Hey, I know that you receive 1K. Let's all drink out afterwards."
Exactly.
And they will.
Exactly. A lot of stories that we're gonna be talking
Oh,
about later
right.
on.
Of
That's,
course,
that's
of
gonna
course.
be part of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, the landscape back then,
Yeah.
hella fucking different.
But we were happy, because we were legit happy, and I think honestly you can live through it. And the best thing about it is that we are all playing games while we're doing it. That's probably why we kind of
yeah.
stuck to it, and we were trying to survive the best we can. And honestly, the way that I kind of got through it is to look for online jobs that I was able to write for. That's why I was able to get through it. At the same time, though, I wouldn't complain about the things that we faced back then, just because it's not like Mineski lied to you and said that, hey, this is we're gonna pay you a lot, something like that. No, it was very clear at the start. I think that generally, I don't know if you agree with me, but generally we know what we're getting into.
Everybody during that time knew what they were getting into.
Right?
I'm not trying to save face, all right?
Yeah.
But it's not bureaucracy. It's not the system, but it was just the way it was.
It was
back
just the way
then.
it was. I mean, there weren't any. The term even then was like endemic or non-endemic brands, like gaming brands back then. Surely they can pay, but it's not a lot. So
Yeah.
when brands like maybe Smart, Samsung came in, that's when
things started to elevate.
Yeah, started
Yeah,
elevating.
non-endemic brands. For those of you guys who don't know the terminology, non-endemic means not normal to this scene.
Yeah.
So
it wasn't born in the scene.
So it's Razer is endemic, Steel
Yeah.
Series is endemic, but then
Smart.
Smart Infinix is
Infinix.
non-endemic. Globe is non-endemic.
Realme.
Realme.
Yeah.
They weren't part of esports. They're not gaming per se.
That's right.
That's what non-endemic means.
Yeah.
The more you know.
The more you know. Yeah, that's
Anyway,
why.
sorry, I'm cutting
again,
you
we're not saving face here because of the bad things that we had to face through. But again, you know what you're getting into. It's not like somebody promised, "Hey, you're gonna earn a lot." That's not even the case. Like I remember when I was getting hired, they told me like, "You're just getting paid this amount. Are you sure?" Something like that. So
Yeah.
pretty honest with that. But then again, the catch, the hook was but at 7 p.m. you can play.
Oh man, that was the hook lines. That was the hook line
Line
sinker
sinker.
for me. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to me. I'm sorry, I'm gonna take the spotlight from you.
All
and take it from me.
right, all right.
So yeah, I started in esports in 2016, but prior to that, I started working in 2011. I started working in BPO, in the BPO industry.
Okay.
That is not where I got my accent. I got this in high school.
Damn.
So
How did that happen?
I just, not gonna lie, it's just really just
Watching?
watching movies,
Okay,
watching
okay.
series. That's all I do. Playing video games. That's all I did. So I started working in the BPO in 2011, up until 2015. All of a sudden, Carl, currently the director of MPL season 11, season 12, season 3 as well. He's part of the broadcast team for Mineski. Good friend of mine, been a longtime friend since high school, knew him since elementary school.
Yeah.
That's how long we go back. He messaged me all of a sudden because he went into Mineski October of 2015, and then I think January he messaged me and he was like, "Hey, do you want a job? Do you want to work in esports or not even esports? You want to work in Mineski?" And I'm like, I'm
Hell
sick.
yeah.
I'm sick and tired of the BPO industry. Let's go. So I'm gonna give the figure. Okay, I went from 30 all the way down to 12 just to get esports, and by God Almighty, that was the best damn feeling I've ever had.
Yeah.
I got paid less,
Yeah.
significantly less, but I enjoyed the work.
Yeah. I mean, like, it has it's very stressful still, but the fact
It's
that
stressful. Yeah.
I mean,
The BPO industry is a different beast. I mean, I'm not discounting every single one of you guys that are working in the BPO industry. You guys are kicking ass. You keep kicking ass. You are surviving. You matter. But it's not a job for me. I don't want to mindlessly just answer the phones. Hey, thank you for calling technical support. My name is Giro. How can I help you? That's not me.
Yeah.
And that's not something I want to do every single time. But esports, I grew up playing video games.
That's right.
I never had my own PC, but I found my way into fucking playing video games. Like, didn't cut class, but I had to do group work after class to be able to play computer. So it's like a no brainer for me.
Yeah.
And it extends up until now, where I think it was a year ago where I tried to go back to the corporate life. It wasn't really for me, and now I'm here back in esports.
Yeah.
So it's a different pool. Esports is a different pool.
Yeah. That's why one thing that maybe one thing that you can get out of this podcast that might be positive, or at least it's a lesson, is
I hope you get something positive out of this, to be honest.
but yeah, maybe the lesson for this podcast is esports is thriving, but it doesn't mean that you also that it's your dream job, right?
Yeah.
It will take a lot of time, take a lot of effort, and you have to be in a good spot as well. You have to find your place, find a good company whatsoever for you to be able to call it, okay, this is my career.
Be with the right people.
Yeah, with the right people. It will be hellish at first. If you find a good opening, good for you. But yeah, but if you think about it, that's also the same with other industries,
Other industries, yeah. Because, I mean, yeah, for me, it was mostly being BPO, but I think it was my third company that I actually felt like I was all right.
Yeah.
Like, I liked the people I was working with. The job wasn't as toxic.
Yeah.
There weren't a lot of calls coming in, so that was nice. But esports is not something I love per se, but it's something I enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So I had to make the no-brainer. I mean, looking back, if I stayed the course and just wanted to chase the paper, it would be just me in the BPO. I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have met anybody in the industry.
That's
met
right.
a lot of amazing people.
Yep.
But it is what it is. But yeah. I made the jump in 2016 going to Mineski.
Yep.
And even with that low of a salary, I was able to do a lot of work.
Yeah, for sure.
I was initially I came in as an article writer. I was the content editor for Mineski.net, and then I got shifted into graphics design, to video editing, to social media, and ultimately becoming a caster, which was a funny thing. A funny thing.
What happened?
So it was still in 2016. Mineski had a pro gaming league during that time. It was the Mineski Pro Gaming League.
Okay.
It was the MPGL Season 8, Leg 1.
Yep.
All of a sudden, our editor-in-chief, Juno, was like, hey, we may need analysts, and desk might make sense. So that, we had Dota 2, League of Legends, we had CSGO. So Dota 2, that was Juno. CSGO was me, and then League of Legends was Kibu.
Yeah.
Was Melo. So we had that. I was on a desk with Asarai and Riku. Riku was the panel host during that time. It was Five Peaks versus Expendables during that time. And I just dropped analysis. And that's the moment where I was like, hey, this is something I kind of want to do. And then fast forward a couple of months later, Leg 2 begins. It was the start of the day. I was still not editor-in-chief. I was still an article writer.
Yeah.
I was still a content creator I was still an article writer for Mineski.net during that time. Leg 2 starts. Top of the morning, I was supposed to do a publication. Juno was mad. He was mad.
Juno, your boss, basically.
My boss. He was my editor-in-chief. So I was in the studio ready for the broadcast.
Yeah.
I forgot to post the social media post.
No.
He went to the office.
Looked for you.
He looked for me. He looked at me. And then he went to the player rooms because the players weren't there yet. Cursed out. I heard him scream. I was like, damn, I fucked up.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Yeah.
Man. Hey, Juno, you're a real one.
Wherever you are, Juno, like, thank you also. Like, I learned a lot from that guy too.
Yeah.
Where is he now? Do you know?
I think he's still working for Shopee. That's the last time I've heard.
Yeah. Wherever you are, Juno, I know you're kicking ass like you always did. Salute.
He actually lives near you.
I'm gonna look for that guy.
You have to look for that guy. He lives near you. Anyway,
Okay.
so that was that, and then it all started snowballing from there. My I wouldn't say casting. It is a casting career because eventually I had to leave Mineski, and then just cast it on the side.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, the biggest. I would say the biggest break I've ever had was ROG Masters 2017.
Yeah, the international cast.
That was the international cast. I was with Kareth, Elfish guy. It was like Ian Sniper Turner, some of the biggest names, and Australian CS, in which they would turn over into being ESL. They would cast sometimes for the ESL Pro League. So like the people I used to watch and then. I suddenly work with them. So that was my biggest break. But I didn't break as in break out, but it was like a big experience for me.
Yeah.
Because that was the first time ever. We were talking about this, how in 2016 the pay was bad. 2017 RG Masters, I was like, this is the amount of money I get to pay. I get paid.
Yeah, that's right.
And then for those of you, I'm so sorry. For those of you who are unaware, sometimes if there were events, we would automatically go to Golden Phoenix Hotel or Hotel 101. I stayed at City of Dreams.
That's right.
Nobu.
Yeah.
I felt like elevated. It was like the best feeling.
Yeah.
A big ass room, all for me. A big ass bathroom with a bathtub, and I'm like, I don't deserve this, but here I am, motherfuckers. Let's get it,
man.
It was so good. It felt so good, and I wanted more of that. But then we never got more of that. But it was so good. It was such a good feeling. I was with Vil as well.
Yeah. You know, speaking of RG Masters, it's also one of my biggest breaks as well. Financially speaking, and as well as like the escape of where I'm casting, because I also became part of an international broadcast for ROG Masters.
That's Malaysia. That's the
Malaysia.
finals.
That's the finals, which was it was so amazing, right? It was one of my dreams. Like you said, you met your heroes, basically. You met the casters that you just adore. I met Cap. I met Lyrical. I absolutely adore Lyrical. Fogged was there. And Purge. Purge was there. Quinn was there now. One of the most dominant mid laners. Quinn was still starting his career as a player, by the way. So anyway, the long story short, I knew that I made it already back then. It was 2017?
That was 2017.
2017, right? So, a funny story, because I started casting 2016, and I have a mentor, Nate Force, right? Yep, shout out to that guy. I'm always ever grateful. He propelled my career. He was the one of the first few ones that believed in me, actually. Like, because I was getting a lot of like heat. Like, not everybody liked how I cast. But I remember that guy, he never stopped like believing in me and also like giving tips, which is great. And he said to me like, okay, after a year, if you, it's like the wording's like, if you are able to get into an international cast after a year, you know that you made it, something like that. So he kind of inspired me to look for an international cast because he knows that locally the Manjin, it was not even Manjin Bu, that Lon and Duno was already like almost like impossible to defeat, quote unquote.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah, right. That's it, right?
It's Lon and Duno is a cemented.
Yeah,
candle.
exactly.
You can't break through
you
that.
can break through that. Then there's like Manjin is already taken over, and he knew specifically that my style of casting might not be it for the local viewers.
Yeah.
So he believed in me. Like, okay, what if you push for international? If you get there in a year, great for you. And here's what you need to do. So he wanted me to like focus on this. He trained me. He made sure that, oh, hey, watch out for this guy, watch out for this guy, watch this stream whatsoever. So he really was a mentor to me. Well, long story short, after a year, I was able to get to ROG Masters, international event with the English casters whatsoever.
And eventually, he was in TI7.
TI8.
It's
almost. That's a year after.
That's a year after. So, you know, TI is World. It's
the World Cup.
It's M5. That's basically that's basically the M series for Dota 2, and it's a big deal.
It's a massive deal. Anyway,
yeah.
RG Masters, you know, there were so many moments where, man, I made it. You know why? Because they were paying back then 30,000 pesos for the entire thing, which was not big. Not big now.
Not big now, but back then that was like a big deal. That was like a weekend's worth of work and you get paid 30 grand.
30 grand.
That's not normal.
You're staying in a hotel, dude. I was staying in a hotel. And I was like, Mom, this is the first time I'm in a hotel. This is my first international flight. I have a buffet.
That was a big deal. That was a fucking big deal.
I have my own bed. Honestly, that was the first time I have my own bed because I don't have a bed. Like I have a cushion that I was staying. Even when I was there, I have a bed. I have a comforter. Life's great.
Life's great. Yeah, I have.
Man,
that feeling is good.
And the thing that made me, because Lyrical was very nice to me, and they invited me over for a couple of drinks. I cannot afford that. Even with that 30K pay grade, I probably will not I will not spend 500 pesos, or in that case, what was $10, which was the price for a cocktail. I wouldn't do that. I would not spend a lot from my pay for that one.
You wouldn't.
I wouldn't.
I would.
Well,
some of the best drinkings I've ever had. ROG Masters as well. It was Carrot's birthday.
Carrot.
Yeah. It was his birthday, and then it was after the broadcast day, we went straight to it's not all day. Is it Mighty?
What?
Mighty Mart?
Mini Stop?
No, not Mini Stop.
Family Mart?
No, not Family. Mighty. It's a different.
Oh yeah.
Right next to SMX.
Yeah. I think might be
Mighty. We went straight to that and bought 2 cases of Red Horse, a bottle of tequila.
Did they like Red Horse?
They loved it.
Love it.
They loved Red Horse. All right. So they got the Red Horse and everything else. We took a taxi going back to the hotel. Security was like, "Sir, you can only have 12 bottles." yo, what do we do with the rest of it? Oh yeah, I can pay for it. And he was like, okay, mate. I guess. And then we didn't party all night, but we drank all night. It was like we were watching. It was bliss. We were watching CS:GO. We were drinking beers, drinking tequilas, and just having a good time. That was a good time.
Yeah.
It was one of the best core memories I've ever had.
Yeah, and this is also like a core memory of mine. Like, shout out to Lyrical. I hope that you listen to this because you're my hero. No, just kidding. Yeah, no, because he bought me this cocktail that I said, man, I quietly said like, I can't pay for this. Like, I can't afford it. You know, because I literally can't. Even when we are getting paid. Like, by the way, because when you don't get paid on the same day.
Oh yeah,
it
takes some months.
Yeah, so it's fine. Like right then and there, I didn't have any money, and I think that spending $10 on a cocktail for me back then was like, it's crazy. That's not gonna happen because it's just one cocktail.
Yeah,
if I have $10 to spend, I'm gonna go to a Mighty Mart or whatever.
Just shop. $10, buy cheap beer,
exactly.
Get drunk the same way. Anyway,
yeah. So we were by the pool. It was a pina colada. It was perfect. They treated me, and I told myself, I was by the gazebo. We were just talking about Dota. Actually, we're not even talking about Dota. We're talking about life, actually, like casting career and stuff, like all that jazz, And we were having a great time with this drink that I have. And I said, one day, I'm gonna afford this. I'm gonna mindlessly get into a hotel, order cocktail, and be happy, right?
Yeah.
I made a promise afterwards, but yeah. The thing is, that was an enlightening moment where you, and especially because back then I found out how the other casters make, and I was getting a nibble of what they're getting, but it's fine, like because it's my first gig, like you can't complain. And they promised me. I mean, not really promised me, but they kind of basically told me that, everybody starts from there. It's just as different because in the Philippines, the cost of living is inflation whatsoever. It's just different on their side.
The cost of living is insanely stupid.
Yeah, but anyways, what I'm pointing out is like when it comes to like scaling it down a bit, they practically experienced the same thing as I did.
Yeah. That was the same thing that the Aussie casters told me as well.
Yeah, right.
Like they were getting this much, but then I realized, they're paying $2,000, $4,000 a month for their rent. Yeah, this kind of makes sense for them.
Yeah,
for us, it's a big deal that amount of money. But then, just like what you said, to scale it down, it makes sense.
Yep. But then again, they're still practically getting paid because they're already veterans back then, and I'm still a newbie. And I wanna make waves, and I can fairly remember like my idol Fogged, like this is so stupidly this sounds so stupid for a young caster, but in the first panel session, he said Wolf was right, and that alone is like those goosebumps. Like what do you mean, Fogged? You're my idol. I look up to you, and you tell me that I'm right? What the hell? And
I mean, that's something that I'm right now that you're telling me this, I'm fucking jealous. Because my true idol in like casting is Sadakist.
Yeah.
Matthew Trevette. If ever you're watching this podcast, man, my entire casting style is molded off of yours.
Yeah.
I love you, man. Mm-hmm. But casting with Kareth, casting with the Elfish guy. Well, not really cast because I primarily casted with Vil, but I was in the panel with Kareth, Elfish guy, DK, and Sniper. I wanted to cast with Sadakist.
Yeah.
If I hear Sadakist tell that to me,
right.
I'd be like on the panel desk, be like,
But if you look back at that panel, he just agreed with you. Well, I probably said the right thing, actually. That's why he said Wolf was right whatsoever. But at the same time, it's just one normal day at the office for them.
But for you.
But for me, it was a massive boost. Because I think that him saying that allowed me to be more confident in the following broadcasts, which is great. And I remember like predicting maybe 4 or 5 heroes. Then I did my thing, which my thing back then was so into stats, and I had a crazy stat, which they also agreed that also was important in that panel. So those little achievements that I was able to do was already like pretty good for me.
Yeah.
And that propelled me into getting the confidence. Really, it's more about being a morale boost than it is like an achievement. Like it's like, hey, I can do this, something like that. Which, yeah, that's. Well, I don't know why we got into this.
No. It was a long conversation.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked about RG Masters, which is part of the journey that I had. But yeah. So are we going to circle back?
Where are we? We were talking about you.
We were talking about me. No,
RG.
it's fine. It's like that experience that you had is an experience that I wish I had. It feels good being on the panel with the people that you watch on stream.
Yeah.
But for me, I've never had to really work with my idols.
Yeah.
Like,
I consider myself lucky then. And
you're very lucky.
Yeah.
And I'm happy that you had that for you.
Thank you.
I'm happy.
All right. Thank you. Now,
anyway.
you said that your biggest break was RG Masters.
RG's Master. It wasn't a break, but it was a break in the financial.
Yeah, financial. Hey, one thing that I do want to tell all the people out there. Remember Paladins? What do you remember? What
Paladins Global Series?
Paladins Global Series. One of my proudest projects as well, because it was it 2017?
That's
it was
2017.
It was 2017, and like we said, like 2016. If you get 500 a day for casting, that's already like top of the key, and that kind of went on until like half of 2016. Maybe we get like good projects like Manila Masters, for example, that paid maybe 3 times as much as 500. So that's 1.5. Practically still nothing compared to this day.
Yeah.
But at that moment, it was great. And I remember in Manila Masters, or that time of the year at least, because I know that I'm getting paid this much, I was able to get a suit, a 3-piece suit, bespoke.
Oh, that was the time you wore that for Paladin Global Series.
That's right.
And I had to borrow your vest for that first time.
That's
Paladins was the first ever cast that Wolf and I ever had.
That's together.
Yeah. Like we were directly working with each other. We were both play-by-play, color, whatever the fuck happened there. And that was the first ever time we actually worked together.
That's right.
We have never cast MLB.
No, before
We
that.
did.
No. Because I was casting Dota 2 or casting CSGO, so
No, we never really crossed paths. Yeah,
we just
that
worked
was the first
together.
time.
Yeah,
But Paladins was a ride, man.
Yeah,
It
and the
was-
thing is, it paid 3,000 pesos.
that was big
That
for
was-
a day.
for a day.
A day. That was a big deal.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
We
Oh
get
my
Burger
God.
King. It's not even like the basic Whopper Junior. It's the actual Whopper, large fries, large drink, whatever you want.
Man, I remember that first day that the manager, shouts to Sir John, Johnny Blaze.
Sir Johnny Blaze, I miss you, man.
Man, he asked like, "What's your order from Burger King?" I don't even know what to order from Burger King. I just know, I want what you're getting, and they got the oh my God, the burger. The first time I ate like a big Whopper was from a broadcast. It was free, and I was like, man, let's do it.
Life's good.
Life's good. But then you proceed to do a 12-hour broadcast. But then you get Burger King, you get paid 3,000 pesos. You're like, this is life.
Transportation was reimbursable too.
That's right. Oh, they have a maximum.
They had a maximum, but
yeah,
you know,
it covers
I was always under the limit.
That's right. That's right.
It's just because
Yeah.
the studio then was like, wasn't near, but it was near my place.
Yeah.
But regardless, I was a big deal.
That was a big deal.
Because back then, there was a time when I think I forgot that era. I think it was 2017 as well.
It was.
We were getting paid like 200 or 300 and then a meal.
Yeah, that's right.
That
The
was like
2016.
2016
Yeah.
ish. That was like the best we could get. And
Yeah.
then from 3,000 to free meal Burger King.
Yep.
Damn, I was like living like a king.
Yeah, I was.
Eating
I mean,
burgers.
and I was willing to because back then, typically when we cover Dota 2, it's nighttime,
Yeah.
and then they practically daytime until nighttime. You're doing the Paladins. It's just once a week anyway, so you're gonna live through it. You can do it. It's doable.
Yeah.
Think about it. But then you sacrifice sleep. But back then, it was for me. It was like, I gotta do this. I can miss out on 3,000.
It was 3,000 pesos.
Yeah,
That's no-brainer.
you would do it. And
You would be fucking stupid if you didn't take it.
I remember one of the best moments back then because like I said, I was being mentored by Nate Force, and essentially like since I'm part of Mineski, like to be there for 3,000, I kind of have to. Technically speaking, you have to let go of some of the stuff to work. So what he did was he basically covered for me during the days that I had to go there, right? And he wasn't asking for anything. He just told me that promise me when you eventually after or maybe in the middle or afterwards treat us for quote unquote inuman, which is that was just the deal. At the end of the season, give a massive inuman. And by massive inuman, it means you have to spend 1,000 pesos, by the way.
That's massive.
That's already massive.
Time.
So I spent like 1K or 2,000 pesos for that wonderful inuman. It was the day. It was one of my proudest. I don't know if I'm proud actually, but it was one of the greatest ones. Do you remember this when we made a makeshift KTV?
Oh,
was that
day.
It was that day.
Oh my god! Oh, that was the third floor of the studio.
Exactly.
Oh my!
So many things happened. So we were singing. Everybody was having a great time. Because we were in the studio. Remember this, guys? Mineski is a studio where there weren't any mics. Like we don't want to rent KTV because we're trying to be frugal about it, right?
Yeah, very.
Right. So what we did was to hook up the monitor to YouTube, get a speaker. Our broadcast headsets were the mics.
Yes, sir.
So we were casting
Yes,
that.
sir.
It was such a great time.
Oh man, I have a lot of great moments there.
Yep.
For those of you who don't know, there was an incident, not an incident, but there was an instance.
Yeah.
A month straight, Wolf and I would drink in the studio.
Why are you telling them that? No, just kidding. Well,
It's
true.
part of the storyline. It's a core memory of.
And by the way, we're not drinking to get drunk all the time. But because number one, we don't have the money to get drunk.
Yeah, that's why we only buy like one bottle of Andy Player, one bottle of Andy Player, a 2-liter bottle of Coke, and that's it for the night. And then we go home. If we get drunk off of that, c'est la vie.
C'est la vie.
But if it's not, and then we go home. Maybe somebody all of a sudden.
On a good day, somebody else will bring another bottle.
Nate would buy another bottle most of the time.
Day, yeah.
Oh my god!
And Andy Player costs about 150 pesos, and that's enough
like
to
$1, like it
$2.
$2,
yeah,
more or less.
Yeah, so that's yeah. I think in total we would spend like 200 pesos each, and we're gonna be okay with that.
Yeah, we would be not hella drunk, but we were drunk.
Yeah, I mean like it's enough for you to.
And we would sleep at the studio if we get too drunk. Oh my god.
Yes.
Well, yeah.
So you remember that video, the KTV thing, the karaoke that we did in the studio. The thing is like everybody was there and they were happy because somebody treat this for that, and it was I only had to spend like 2,000 pesos and everybody was happy. Hey, that's a good day.
The day was a good day.
Yeah, and that's what. That was also the night where I stepped on my glasses. Remember the face where I have...
Oh, yeah. that was the one... You had that for 2 whole fucking years.
Exactly.
2 whole years. These are my glasses, right? You see this? He didn't have this part.
Yep.
It was just this part holding it together.
That's why what I'm doing... Right. Okay, so there's no part... I think it's the left side.
It was the left side.
It was the left side. So what I would do is... Whenever there was a camera, I would do this so that you'll never notice.
It was always on the host part.
The host, the part. And so that's funny. Yeah.
Oh, man.
We did that. That happened. And I think eventually Alo was, he kind of PT me, I guess. And he kind of... gave me the frame that his grandfather had for a long time. Said,
"Oh no, shit."
Yeah, he did. After like 2 months or 3 months, maybe I don't know. Or a long time actually, maybe 5 months, 6 months.
You had no left side for a long time.
Because sometimes I would still wear that because you know, I don't know. I honestly don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I just did.
I've seen you wear that for like 2 years, even going into fucking season 5 of MPL. You had that.
I don't know what to tell you. It
is what it is. But wait, I need another beer.
Okay, get some. Get some.
You can still talk. I can still. People can hear me still, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, like those were the days where that's essentially what we do, and those are humble beginnings. I would like you to know that we are not advertising drinking here. I'm not saying that you should drink to be successful, that you have to be drunk. This is a phase of my life. And I think that, I never really talked about this, but I think that at some point in your life, you'll be, you'll be drinking, Maybe some of you don't need to go through that, but it happened to me. So that's just that. But at the same time, it propelled the career. It built lasting relationships with important people, connections that are very important.
Just like what Wolf is saying, drinking is not important for you to make connections, but a lot of important people drink.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the thing. You don't have to drink.
We're not saying that.
You can still like hang around them.
Yeah, but
it's a plus.
It's a thing, right? Like right now. And to tell you honestly, I haven't been. It's been years since I was, It has been years since I got drunk because I had to watch my health, I'm getting older, whatsoever. So I had to go there. I don't know why we're talking about drinking here, but anyways, that happened.
Where were we?
I don't know. Paladins. Actually, here's why I actually mentioned Paladins. It was one of my proud achievements because it was a game that wasn't played that much. And you, me, and Astray and Lewis as well. The four of us. Slice. That's right. Slice. Damn. Yeah, that's right. I'm sorry. But yeah, we and of course Jay Blaze and all of the people from Elite group back then. The moral of the story is it was a project that we did where we built the community, and I was very proud of it because at the start of the Paladins Global Series, it was happening in Europe, NA, CIS, I think, or
South America,
and then for Southeast Asia. Those regions, right? So every week there will be a broadcast. For the first week, Southeast Asia was the lowest, right? Mm-hmm. But across the end, like eventually we built our, through our casting, through our community work, because we were working on a Discord as well. So we were interacting with the fans. I had the chance to play with the fans with Paladins, even though I'm bad at it, but I eventually got good at it because I generally I'm not good at FPS games. Anyways, it came to a point where at the championship part of the Paladins Globals, we had the best viewership compared to other regions. A very proud moment of mine. Yeah, unfortunately, I think ESL eventually took over.
Yeah, they pulled the plug on it eventually.
It's like now the NA team handles all of the broadcasts.
Yeah.
So that happened, which kind of sucked, but yeah, that's a chapter of a book that I was able to close, and I'm very happy that it ended that way. We ended strong in a way.
Yeah. Man.
Yeah. So where were we?
Okay.
Where are we? Like, I think that after Paladin, so that's end of 2017. That's also the end of RG Masters. Now 2018, Dota is slowly declining.
Now BB was rising.
MLBB is rising.
Because that was earlier part of 2018. That was season 1 of MPL.
That's correct.
That was the hashtag start your journey, hashtag be legendary.
And why are you mentioning hashtag be legendary again?
The team that I worked with there in Mineski, that was my last project before I left.
Yeah.
We had to, make a campaign that would really have a lot of people join in and get the hype rolling for MPL.
Yeah.
And I can't take credit of this, but every single person that worked behind the scenes there, really did pull through. And I mean, if you watch the playoffs, if you were there at the playoffs during MPL season 1, the seating was limited, but we were in the music hall, and the music hall during that time was not air conditioned. It was an open space.
Yep.
And it had 3 additional floors from the mall. It was jam packed.
It was jam packed.
I think we exceeded like 10,000-15,000.
That's
people.
right. Yeah, foot traffic.
The foot traffic that watched the venue. It was that big of a deal, and that was a time when, maybe Mobile Legends is a thing, because I was not. All right, let me just circle back real quick.
Okay.
Because I've never casted any MOBAs in my life. I've primarily casted FPS, CSGO. There was a short stint of me casting Vainglory, but that was because I had a crush, so I had to, I had to cast Vainglory.
Sure.
All right.
Sure.
So I casted Vainglory, and then Mobile Legends came into the scene. I wasn't not a big fan of mobile esports, but I wasn't looking at it as the next big thing.
Right.
But then when season 1 playoffs happened, it opened my mind for that. And season 1, I never saw myself being in town because I never understood the game at all.
Yeah.
Season 2, I started casting in season 2 just because of Butters.
English.
Because of the fact that during that time it was ESGS. That was supposed to be my...
or was it PGF?
No, it was ESGS. It was ESGS. You guys were doing the nationals.
Road to the nationals.
You guys doing the road to the nationals. I was doing the road to WESG because that was a CS:GO. I think I casted the CS:GO female finals there, and then I had Project Sandata on the side. Right. All of a sudden, during that time, Zen Angeles, what's good? You are forever going to be part of our lives. Zen Esports. Zen lang malakas.
Yep.
Zen lang malakas. So he came out of me out of nowhere during the event. It was like, hey, so Butters can't speak. Do you want to catch MLBB?
Oh, because ESGS was happening. And what we generally do is we cast ESGS in like the morning or something. We'd make an event.
And then in the evening you'd go back to the studio for MPL.
Right. And that happened, by the way. That is very true.
Yeah. So I had no idea of MLBB. I'm like, how much is he going to pay?
Of course.
How much is he going to pay? And then he was like, this amount. All right, I'll take it. Can you pay for my grab? All right, sure. All right, I'll book a grab now. So I went from ESGS. I had nothing to do. I went straight to the studio. The tandem I was working with was Rockhart and Yuko. I don't know shit. Like, I worked with Rockhart and Yuko for Vainglory.
Yep.
So they put the gist of the skills of at least the most big.
They kind of briefed you in a way.
The brief. So like Gushan is Anka from Vainglory.
Okay.
So that was the thing. I was like, oh, his ult is this, blah blah. Okay. I casted it. Not going like I bullshitted my way through.
Yeah, I mean,
I was like naming all the. I couldn't name the heroes. So I was naming the players, and then I was like, yeah, this is what it's doing. I was looking at how the game happened.
Yeah.
And then eventually...
Well, it's not your fault. I mean, you weren't planning to do it.
I wasn't planning on going into MLBB.
Yeah.
And then after that, the days started going, the week started pouring in, and then it's the playoffs for season 2. And then it's a grand finals cast for me and Rockhard, Signal Ultra, Bren Esports. It was a big deal for me because that was the first time, at least when I started casting MLB, where it started pouring everything in.
Yeah.
Like when...
Because you eventually gained the knowledge.
I eventually gained the knowledge during that time. And then that was the time when Signal Ultra... No, Few was still Signal Ultra. Few got a pick off of... I remember this.
That was the Selena, right?
That was the Selena. Few got a pick off of Rebo, if I'm not mistaken. Rebo got taken out of the equation, and then Signal Ultra just started marching in. Brent Esports didn't have any waves at all. And I was calling it like... I was feeling the crowd, because that was the first live event where it's not even us that's on the broadcast, but I could feel the crowd's energy. So me and Rockhart were calling it where this is going to be Signal Ultra winning the championship, blah, blah, blah. It was the energy.
Yeah.
And that just brought me in. That transitioned into season 3, season 4, and season 5. And it was a good feeling.
Yeah.
But the biggest regret I've ever had, at least during those times, was that I never got close to the players. I never talked to the players.
I see.
And that's something you guys are good at. That's something I'm not good at.
I guess, I have to credit Butters for starting that, I guess, that movement onto getting close to the players. Because honestly, for me, I'm also a very extroverted person, but introverted person, I mean. And it's hard for me to kind of like connect with them. But then, of course, because somebody opened the door already, that's all it started. And I found that the people, like the players, are very human, And
players are human too. They feel things.
Yeah. So, you entered season 2. I entered season 1. And well, the short of the story is we were asked by Mr. Marlon Marcelo to, hey, study MLBB, and his tone was like very clowny and all. You know Lon. Yeah. You imagine how he talks, but yeah, it was funny. What we did was to I didn't get into MPL without the knowledge. So I think I had a 2-week, 3-week head start. What we did was because I like InDesign, and I'm
you're the one that's responsible for that.
Yeah, I know InDesign.
Yeah, in the studio. The studio was like a makeshift studio, right? For the English broadcast at the very least. So there's like a glass window with shutters on. Yeah. So the shutters were always closed, and then there's a glass window that had every single detail of a hero, all 100 plus. I think it was
80. It was 90.
90 heroes.
Yeah.
Every single one of them had the skills, the description, what typical items they would pick up. Wolf was responsible for that.
That's right.
And I thank you for that because I was looking at that every single time.
Thank you. But basically that's what I did because I'm that kind of learner in school where I need to rewrite things. I think that's one of the ways to learn, because I'm not good at. Unfortunately, I'm not good at memorizing, so I need to constantly see stuff. All right. So what we did was because it was a digital copy, so we can reprint it many times. But the first season we printed it and put it like if this was like your wall in your office, like we put it there. Yeah. So that's that. And season 2 was also very important to me because after season 1, I told myself, it's like. You know what I talk about, like Lon and Duno, and the name that they established. Manjin already established theirs because they were already doing it with League of Legends and now MLBB. And there wasn't any room for me in the Tagalog broadcast, so I talked to Zen. And the thing is, we were already doing the late game before.
Oh, the OG podcast.
The OG podcast. It was the 4 of us.
Rockhart
for the 2. Before Rockhart, it was actually me. That was Midnight Butters. Wasn't Manjin already back then? Did he join? I think he might have joined. Yeah. So Manjin was there, or maybe Rockhart actually. But no, because it started with Dota. It started with Dota. So remember, late game started before MPL season 1. So I kind of, I don't know if I am. I think this is very boastful of me to say that I'm one of the first panel hosts, because nobody was doing panel hosts back then.
Nobody wanted to do panel hosts.
Panel even is not even existed in the Filipino space.
No, it was, but it's not as exclusive as it is right now. Because back then the panel setup was we're looking at this wide camera right now. He's the panel host, there's another caster here, and then I'm the other caster. And then after the transition, all right, we're going to dive into the game. It's just these two guys. It's not an exclusive panel.
Yeah.
And then there's a separate casting desk.
That's right. So
that was you. You and Aki for MLBB.
For MLBB, that's right. 1. So, like I said, we were doing it for the late game. I had that's practice. Right, we're doing, and I was enjoying it. And like I said, I'm fortunate that there were so many mentors back then, because Zen was watching all of the late games and he was chiming in. Carl, when it comes to like the visuals, he also like helps.
Yeah.
Miss Kai Buhay. And I'm always thankful about Miss Kai because he or she can be very blunt about the comments, which was very helpful. You know, she gave comments that nobody else would. You know,
Yeah, no sugar on top.
no sure on top, and that's also with Zen. Anyways, long story short, I told Zen that season 2, hey, maybe I want to be the panel host because I want to be part of the Tagalog broadcast in a way. Because I know that I'm getting stereotyped once again as, you know, you're an English caster, something like that, right? So I felt that as part of my career, I needed to do something differently. So season 2 comes, and then season 3, I took over the panel hosting. If you recall, I was the panel host for the entire thing.
Yes, you were, and I was fortunate to be one of your panel during that time. I was on the panel with Zeus.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was Zeus, me, and Butters.
Right.
We were in the same we were in the same panel. I enjoyed that time.
I remember in season 2, there was literally just one series where Zen decided that, okay, you need rest. Somebody else took over. But in season 3, I took over that job. And then season 4, which actually, if you think about it, I don't know if the other viewers realize, but my first grand finals cast was actually season 8. It took 8 seasons before I got to the grand finals.
Really?
Yeah, I've only did one game for season 4, but everybody was doing season 4.
Oh yeah.
Because we were swapping, right?
Yeah.
But that's literally just one game, right? The first full series that I was part of the grand finals as a caster, it took me eight seasons.
Man, let's see who don't like for I mean like for us, like when we first started, grand finals casting was a big thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Typically it was reserved for the Lonin Dunos.
Yeah,
it was reserved for
the Manjin Boos. Yeah.
So I'm gonna air out the English side. For the English side, like season 2, it was me and Rockhart. It was great.
Yeah,
season 3, it was also me and Rockhart. It was great. And then season
4, we were kind of getting swapped.
No, season 4, I felt like I didn't deserve to be the grand finals. It was also during that time, season 3, season 4, that was Reptar. He was the talent manager during that time. And I think it was Leo and Rockhart were the ones casting in season 4.
Yeah. Or was it Ilustrado?
Nah, Elo wasn't part of the grand finals.
Okay.
Actually, looking back, Elo never had the grand finals cast for MLBB. But we were always tandemized. That's not even a word.
You were always at tandem.
We were always a tandem, me and Elo.
Yeah.
And we've that tandem carried over from CSGO too. But yeah.
Shoutouts to Ilustrado. Miss you, man.
Wherever I think he's in TV5 right now.
I saw him like literally today, like gearing up for TV5 for a sports show. I think he's also doing lifestyle shows.
Shout out to you,
dude. We miss you.
Man. The camera died.
It's what it is. Then we only have 2 cameras then.
Wow. Live production, by the way. No, it's not live. Yeah. Where are we in this fucking conversation, bro?
We need to we need to do.
All right. You're the host. Bring us back. Put the
no, because you were the prefacing or you already mentioned about season 7. That was your last season. You took a little bit of a break. Season 8.
That wasn't. I want to talk about it.
Okay, fine. All right.
I want to talk about it. It wasn't a break. It wasn't a break. I got removed from the list.
Okay.
I got removed from the lineup because of the fact that people felt that my heart wasn't in MLBB.
Mm-hmm.
Which was always the case. Yeah. Because my true home is FPS. That's where I started. That's where I could really cast the way I cast. It stung for me. Mm-hmm. Because at least for me personally, I felt like I was giving it my all. Yeah. But it wasn't 100% apparently. So what happened during season 7 was looking back, it was very lackluster for me. That's not the typical way I would have casted. And you would agree. A lot of other co-talents would agree. But season 8, I wasn't there. Caster Search, OSX replaced me, and couldn't have it either way. OSX is doing a good. He did
nice as well, I think.
Nice OSX not replace me, but they filled the spot because I wasn't there. So it wasn't a break. It wasn't me taking a break. It was me transitioning. It was me from MLBB. From MLBB going into Valorant. That was the journey.
Oh, so you,
but here's the story.
Okay.
Season 5 was the last season I casted before season 7. I never casted season 6 because season 6 was when the exclusivity thing happened.
That's
with you, Shinbu, Manjin, Rockhart, Butters, and then Rob Luna from time to time.
For you, Rob. I miss you. I really miss you. Oh my god,
Rob. We only shared the desk once.
Yeah. I miss you, man.
But yeah, season 6. Because you guys know me. Some of the co-casters know me. I don't really talk about this publicly. But I wasn't really in a good space for a long time.
Yeah.
I wasn't in a good spot for the most part. Season 5, before the pandemic hit, we were in Magallanes in the MP. Back then, it was the MPL Arena,
right?
In Magallanes in the studio. Pandemic hit, we didn't know what to do.
Yeah,
we didn't know what to do with the season because we were like 2 weeks in.
Yeah,
to the season.
We were the Suicide Squad.
2 weeks in, and then the pandemic hit, and then we didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
And then everything transitioned online. Everything worked well.
Yeah.
Then going into season 6, I was hoping to get a slot back into MPL.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
Yeah.
And then that was like the entirety of what? The tail end of 2020.
Yeah.
That I didn't have any gigs at all.
Yeah.
Up until the start of season 7. Didn't have gigs at all. I was in a very low spot.
Yeah.
Because this might be the alcohol talking right now at this point.
Yeah.
But yeah,
that's the goal.
But yeah, it's not because a lot of people, I'm pretty sure, that are watching the podcast right now, you have a lot of people following you. Not a lot of people would know me.
Yeah.
Because I honestly feel like I am a relatively unknown in the industry.
You're pretty low key, honestly.
Pretty low key. Because if we're talking about numbers, I don't have like the numbers. Like what? I have like 9,000 followers on Facebook, maybe 10. I don't even know. And for you guys, I'm happy for you guys reaching that point in your life where you reach the 6 digits.
Yeah.
A lot of people know you guys, but I'm always this guy that's really like, I'm here, been through it, but you know,
yeah.
So when season 7 came around, I cried because before season 7, I had MPLI.
Right.
I had MPL Invitational and I had Valorant First Strike.
Yeah.
So it's a mix of the two things that I'm well versed in casting. I didn't get into VCT stage 1.
Yeah.
And then I had nothing else to do. I had no work. So I was like hella bummed out. On one single day, two people sent me a message. One for Wild Rift, one for Mobile Legends.
Okay.
Mobile Legends came first.
Okay.
I said yes.
Okay.
And then after I said yes, Wild Rift came. I can't.
Yeah, of course.
Competitor.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I went with the Mobile Legends route.
Yeah.
And I cried because after a long time of me looking down on myself because I felt like shit, to be honest. I felt like shit. Here we are. Like I'm back in MPL season 7. I get to work with you guys and I get to work with Womi. Mara, new faces in the industry, and it felt like home. It legitimately felt like home, and I felt bad for myself because I never got to cast the way I used to cast with you guys. I don't know what happened to me during season 7.
Yeah.
Because if you guys would compare like the way I casted like in community events where I was casting insanely fucking rap god style.
Very comfortable with
Very comfortable with it. Season 7 was a different beast. I did not know why. Up until now, I asked myself why it felt that way.
I honestly don't know as well. Maybe, but there's a lot of like pressure in season 7. Honestly,
Yeah, it's the first. Was that the first time we got into franchising or not yet?
Not yet. It was a lot of pressure because season 6 happened, and then season 7 we had season 6. We already started with exclusivity, which is right. We were exclusive, right? Then season 7, it was a lot of pressure because it was the only ongoing league where the prize pool is big enough, it was regular enough, a lot of people are watching, people are invested, and we had to cast face to face because in early 2021, face to face shoutcasting is still,
Sir,
rare.
it's not face to face. We had face shields. We were casting with fucking face shields. Do you know how fucked up that was?
Man,
That was the most. I'm sorry, whoever was running that decision for Moonton, or whoever. Man, that was a ride. That was a roller coaster.
Man, what you know what we do? I loathe it actually, the face shields, because you can't breathe properly, which is bad for shoutcasting. Saliva builds up,
Every single series, a talent would change their face shield because it's not scrubbable. It's not spit.
We honestly, I think we did so much harm to the global warming or to Mother Earth because of how much plastic we spent.
Hell fucking yeah.
We did.
Oh my god. And then I remember Manjin looking at you. He has the record for the most face shields spent in a day. Because he would because we were required.
Yeah.
Wait, that's a lot of beer. I'm so sorry.
All right.
So, excuse me, by the way. You can cut that, right?
Maybe I won't.
You will cut that.
Maybe I won't.
Anyway, so we are required to go to the studio wearing face masks, face shields as
COVID test every week. Every day, actually.
Every fucking day.
Yep.
We mandated to wear the face shields on and off broadcast.
That's right.
Even in the talent room, we eat. After we eat, face shield, face mask.
That's right.
Manjin would go in with a face shield. Next series, he would have a different face shield. Going home, he would have a different face shield.
Yeah.
Manjin hates Mother Nature. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that.
Or maybe he did a lot of damage to Mother Nature.
He did a lot of damage.
And the worst part is being the solo analyst back then because, at least when you're casting, you can breathe a little bit. When you're doing the solo analyst, it's 8 to 10 minutes of nonstop talking. You run out of air.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why. I mean, it's what it is. Yeah. I mean, I'm sorry that happened to you with season 7. I don't know how to answer that. I mean,
it's fine. It's a thing that's going to be part of my life.
Yeah, it's a you thing.
It's a me thing. I can't blame you guys.
Yeah,
I can't blame anyone for that. It's me.
And that's always my fear about shoutcasting. You're always afraid of getting cut eventually. That's why I don't know. That's just it. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's really no counterplay to that. It will happen eventually,
Yeah. So that happened for MPL, and then I transitioned to VCT.
Where you enjoyed it so much, right?
Enjoyed it. We never got to share a desk.
Man,
we never got to fucking share a desk in VCT. Okay, guys. So you guys know that Paladins is the first time we've ever shared a desk. We casted the Boston Major for CS:GO, where Cloud9 won.
Out of our
It was just like a random thing. Hey, let's cast it. All right, let's cast it. And then we did it, but that wasn't an official thing.
Yeah.
VCT. I was after MPL season 7. I was part of the last chance qualifiers for Asia Pacific. I was there, and I enjoyed it very much so. Then transitioned into APAC LCQ. It was
Champions.
No, I wasn't part of Champions. I was co-streaming Champions.
Okay.
Champions. Then there was another VCT thing, and then there was VXV.
Right.
And then there was a moment where you were part of. No, that was. Yeah, there was a part where you were in VCT while you were still in MPL.
No. So the thing was, it was before season 7. I just skipped the part where you did the caster search because I needed to finish stage 2. So I was still there during the season, but I wasn't there during the caster search. So that's the only part that I skipped.
Yeah, so there's that. And I was like, hey, maybe there would be a time where we'd finally share a desk together.
I was looking forward to it.
Never happened. Okay, so that was what, 2021.
That's right.
That's still 2021. Going to 2022, that was where the Dark Ages came in for Nomad.
Yeah.
NOMAD went dark. Not really went dark, but
we need to get a. Heard that?
Oh.
That is the right solution to over foaming.
Drink it.
Drink it.
So, 2021, because I never became part of the challenger stages, right? So that was the first time I became part of the Challenger Philippines,
Right.
stage 1.
Right.
I was. Oh, fuck. I'm all over the place right now. Prior to that was Mineski Masters, PUBG.
That was in December of 2022.
No, 2021. Still.
Right. You're right. You're right.
Of course I'm right. 2022, you know where I was at.
Yeah.
Anyway, 2021, Mineski Masters happened.
Yeah.
That was. You had the first time of experiencing. Being a panel host during MPL season 1 and going forward, right?
Yeah. Season 2. Yeah.
That was the first time I enjoyed
panel hosting.
Phew.
It's fun, right?
It was fun. Like driving the storyline and everything else.
Yeah.
So going into that was Mineski Masters in 2021, November-ish of 2021. I became a panel host. Apparently, people in the back end enjoyed it.
Mm-hmm.
So that gave me the confidence going into stage 1. Stage 1 comes around. I was panel host, casting as well on the side for VCT. I enjoyed panel hosting during that time.
Yeah.
But then after that, it was it APAC? Asia Pacific Finals. It was Asia Pacific It was the Asia Pacific qualifiers after stage 1.
Okay.
Pressure was on
building
my
up,
fucking shoulders.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that fucking Riot was watching. The whole world was watching Pacific, and I was exclusively panel host. That was a lot of pressure on my shoulders.
Yeah.
And the fault.
I understand.
The fault I had during that time was I was in a relationship during that time. It was a shitty relationship. I don't want to get into it. It was bad. It affected the way I panel hosted.
Okay.
TLDR, she was sleeping in my room. I couldn't talk as much because she would wake up because she works at night. So that don't get into relationships if you're no, I'm kidding. So it that started a steady decline for me, to be honest.
Okay.
Cut that.
Or should I?
Excuse me. So the panel hosting during the Asia Pacific qualifiers was horrendous for me. I would say so myself. Eventually, there was a decision to just put me back into the Filipino broadcast, where I had to cast for 12 straight fucking hours of Valorant. The entire day from 12 p.m. to 12 a.m. Nobody would sub for me. I gave it my all during that time. But eventually, I never got back. After that, there were a lot of other things happening in the back end, and that didn't allow me to get back into there. But it was all stemming from bad decisions I made. In life. Yeah. So another point of regret for me. A lot of regrets for me in this. You guys, you preface this as a chill session, but it's really becoming housemates. Yeah, it's time to confess your sins. But
you know what they say, like men would rather would not go to therapy, they would go make podcasts.
Yes, sir. Joe Rogan, if you're watching this. But yeah, so that happened to me. Yeah, and I never got anything. Afterwards, I never got any casting gigs afterwards. So I was looking for work, and I landed in RSG 2021.
Yeah, the championship run, of course.
And you guys jokingly called me the winningest caster.
That's true. Come on. It's, I guess, at this point, it has been a long time. Maybe we can talk about it. But yeah, there were casters that were part of pro teams before. And yeah, the closest I got was second place. Closest Midnight got was fourth. I actually don't know. Maybe you should ask him what his highest one was.
What team was it? Oh, SGD.
SGD and
second.
Next play.
Oh yeah, he was in XP. Oh yeah, yes, he was in XP. Come on,
season 8. Yes, season 8. That was public.
I'm sorry, I wasn't following MLBB.
Oh, okay. Yeah, and then you became a champion and an MC champion. What the hell? Anyways, yeah, back to your story.
The winningest caster. So I was a community manager for RSG for around 3 months, give or take. Yeah. And then I left. Yeah. And then it was 2 months of me. Wow, fuck. This was the lowest point of my life during that time.
Yeah. You can say that it's. I think knowing that it was their lowest.
It was the lowest point. Yeah.
That's. You don't need to share anything, but yeah, you know it.
I mean, yeah, it was the lowest point of my life. Yeah. I talk about it in a different podcast.
Ooh.
Oh, is it true? I got to. It was the lowest point for me, where I tried to go back into the corporate life, that we mentioned earlier on, but it didn't work out for me. Yeah, and then I think it was December, when I got into broadcasting, but it wasn't esports.
It was surfing.
Hey, Shaka, dude.
Hey.
It was surfing for me, and that's when I started appreciating the things that are happening behind the scenes.
Right.
Especially, being an on-camera talent and then experiencing everything behind the scenes. That was completely different. That's not completely different, but it gives you a different perspective. Yeah. So that carried on up until January, February of this year. And then VZT Pacific came.
Yep, we were there.
We paneled.
We were supposed
to cast Team Secret versus
No, we don't know. I mean,
No, it was a team secret match.
But prior to that, we
didn't know who.
Yeah.
We were in the panel.
Yes,
We brought the MPL swag.
we did.
Because for those of you guys
We
who
did.
are exclusively watching MLBB Esports, for MLBB Esports, you're used to Wolf and the other talents.
We suit up.
We suit up.
Yep.
You know, Barney Simpson,
Yeah.
if you're old enough to remember that.
Yeah.
So, you know, suits and everything else, that was a thing. For VCT, at least for the start, during Valorant First Strike in 2020, like December of 2020, the gist was still the suits, at least
Yeah.
for the Philippine broadcast.
Yeah.
Every other region, casual.
That's right.
And it carried over. Everybody was just wearing this.
Yeah, they were doing casual. Like,
They're doing casual wear. We went to VCT Pacific.
still doing it.
When Wolf and I were in the same panel, Wolf, let's bring the MPL swag. We came in full caster regalia,
That's right.
just coats and everything else.
That's right.
And it was the VCT Pacific was the Valorant Challengers Tour Pacific League, so it's VPL. So it's
Yeah,
the
that's right.
MPL x VPL crossover.
Yeah, that's right.
It was with Mika Fabs too.
Yeah, that's right. That's
Tita,
right.
Tita Mika.
Yep.
So that was enjoyable. But
That
I was always looking forward to casting with you.
Yeah, me too.
We were supposed to cast a team.
We were
secret game.
because we already know that we were casting.
we already knew, but then
That's what it is.
things happened.
Yeah.
But here we are.
Yeah.
But yeah, during that time, I felt a huge hit to my morale. In a way of, do I still really want to cast? Do I still really want to be a talent?
All right.
And I never really recovered from that. I still felt like I did shit. I was trash. That's how I looked at myself there.
Yeah.
So I never got back to being a talent. And then all of a sudden I was jobless since then. Like March was when VCT started, but I got laid off March as well.
Okay. Okay.
So after VCT Pacific, it was what?
April, May.
May, June-ish. Didn't have work for a couple of months.
Mm-hmm.
Carl, once again, messaged me.
Yeah.
Carl got me into esports, and Carl all of a sudden messaged me, "Hey, we're looking for an assistant director for MPL. Are you
Alright.
down?" I'm like, I asked him, "What does an assistant director do?" Blah blah
Yeah.
blah 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 blah. And I was like, "Give me a couple of days
Okay. To think about
to
it.
think about it." I sat on it for like 3 days.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, out of nowhere, woke up in the morning. Carl, G,
G. Yeah.
and that was it.
All right.
That's where it started. That was where the broadcast started for me. And it was because for the surfing broadcast, I was a broadcast director,
Yep.
but was doing a lot of work. Like I was also the vision mixer. Vision
Yeah.
mixer is a guy that controls what you see, like
Yeah.
cameras,
Like what
cameras.
scene? What scene?
What scene? Like,
Yeah.
hey, you're looking at the pro player, you're looking at the crowd. That's the
Okay.
vision mixer. He's controlling all the cameras, whatever is being broadcasted.
Yeah.
I was being the vision mixer. I was being the graphics guy because I was pulling up the graphics.
Yeah.
And I was also directing. Hey, what are we gonna do here?
Yeah,
Camera.
yeah.
What are you gonna look at?
Yeah.
That's the thing. But being an assistant director is much more focused.
Compact.
It was a lot of pressure because it's the first time I became an assistant director.
Right.
This was my first assistant director job, MPL season 12.
Right.
And it's not a serendipity that I came back to season 12. None of you guys even knew I was part
Yeah.
of season 12.
Literally shocked the first time, the first day I saw you.
I want to be fucking low-key about it. But
Yeah.
season 12 was when I came back.
Yeah.
Rehearsals was hell because I didn't know what to do. But then day one of the broadcast, the first week wasn't smooth for NPL.
That's right.
First week wasn't smooth, but then the following weeks it was smooth.
Yeah.
we got there. So I got the confidence of being become assistant director.
Yeah.
And this is where we are right now. We skipped a lot of stories, but here is where we are at right now.
And we love, I don't know, hopefully at this point, like to some of the viewers out there, maybe you are enjoying what we're doing. Maybe you're drinking with us. That's great.
I hope you guys are drinking with us.
Yep. I don't want to say I hope, but I would love to know that you were doing that. But we're not advertising drinking here. But anyways, maybe we can maybe conclude this podcast with one topic, which is like you being part of the back end now. It should be that's the part where now you understand what's happening back then. And you already mentioned like week 1 wasn't smooth. It was one of the, I'd say, worst in a way compared to other seasons because just of the magnitude, that the fact that we're 12 seasons in and then this happens. I'm not asking you to defend, because the last time that I tried to make a post about it, I got a lot of flack because just to tell the story, it's like because people were saying that it's as if they're watching a scrim. People were posting about
that one.
And it kind of triggered me because I watch scrims, and people who are doing that and saying that it's like I'm watching a scrim, I don't know where they got that from, but I'm pretty sure that they're not watching scrims. So it's like, we're saying. But because of what I did, people labeled me as a Moonton apologist, for lack of a better term. People tagged me as, this guy doesn't want to bite the hand that feeds him, right?
Yeah.
But for me personally, my thinking is like, you guys don't know what watching a scream feels like, so what the hell are you talking about? Something like that.
Yeah.
That's my point of view back then. But I never realized that people will see that as you're a Moonton apologist, right? So I kind of regretted that I did that. At the same time though, what I wanted to ask here is like, how did the back end guys feel about that? Because people,
that's a good question.
Man, people are quick to say that back end sucks, but people don't know what happens back end.
First off, that's a good question.
All right.
Secondly, every single thing I'm about to say is my opinion. It does not reflect the production crew behind the scenes. Okay.
Yeah. And by the way, what you have to know about Nomad is he is freelance, so he's not like tied to.
I'm not tied to them. Pero, Tagalog. That was Tagalog.
It might be Peruvian, but we don't know.
Anyway, so as much as possible, we would want to deliver a show that's worth paying. This is Carl's mindset. Being Carl is the director, I'm the assistant director, right?
Yeah.
So the mindset is always, for Carl at least, it was, is this something I would pay for on site? Or is this something I would just rather watch online?
Yeah.
Because something that you guys have to consider is, for the people that are watching the stream online, it's a different experience than watching it live online. So we have to balance that.
Yeah.
And for, at least for the showrunners, the people that are running the show, in terms of like what people see. For Carl, for me, for the producers as well, we have to balance those two things.
Yeah.
So as much as possible, we want to deliver the best show ever.
Yeah.
Like, we want to make sure that everything is smooth.
Yeah.
But it doesn't happen. For those of you guys who are watching live in the studio, in Shooting Gallery Studios, there will be times, if you can recall, during season 12, that you would hear people screaming in the back end.
Yeah.
That was us.
Yeah.
We were screaming because something didn't work well.
Yeah.
because technology eventually would fail us.
Yeah, that's true.
As much as we check everything, technology will and eventually will fail us. It will happen.
Yep.
But it doesn't mean that we want to deliver a subpar show.
Yeah.
We want to deliver something that's worth watching, that's worth rewatching.
Yep.
That even if you watch it many seasons from now and then a compilation started, a montage of what happened in the past started coming out, we want it to be that thing.
Yeah.
It's for me as a talent and being a back end guy, it's more of understanding both sides, because I'm used to being just in front of the camera. Just if ever the director said stretch, meaning that we have to stretch the broadcast for a little bit. If that was the case, I'm used to stretching it, but I didn't know what was happening behind the scenes until after.
Yeah.
Like, hey, what happened there? Oh, something happened.
Yeah.
For us, and for at least for me, we can't throw to, like, during the playoffs. There was a moment where Womi, Chantel, and I think it was Brigida.
Yeah.
In the Filipino broadcast, and I forgot. I didn't know who was in the English broadcast, but there was a match there where we had to stretch a long ass time.
Yeah.
Because there was something happening behind the scenes. I can't talk about it up until now. Can't talk about it. So long stretch. We exhausted everything that we can exhaust just to keep it moving forward without going to a break. Because we, as much as possible, we didn't want to go into a break. Because if we went through a break and then the timer went down to 0 and we had to reset it again, that's gonna get us give us flack.
Yeah.
So we want to exhaust as much as any content as much as we can. Those are the things that we try to do.
Yeah.
We will try to give you things that you can watch, even though something else happened.
Yeah.
But with the things that happened during the fight, during the game, like for example, a lot of the things that I read online, it's mostly the when the turtle slaying graphic is not working, when
Yeah.
when the overlays are not showing, the draft's not showing. Those are things that are way beyond our control. I can't talk specifics.
Yeah.
But they are way beyond our control. That as much as we want to keep it standard as possible, there will be things that would happen beyond our control that would suck.
Yeah.
That we can't do anything about it. So we have to make do.
Mm-hmm.
That's why the people that are watching online would suffer, but the people watching live would still experience the same thing because it's a different environment.
I see. Could you say the same with week 1 though? Because that was one of the worst ones.
Oh yeah, week 1 that was all technical.
Technical. Because one thing that I learned about like talking to the team is like, you are preparing for an event, and let's just say you purchase the best PC possible because that's what they did, and then you get another software that's worth millions, in fact, of pesos. You spend a lot, but then like the humidity, a little bit of change in humidity in the air, a little bit of change in the power influx that day, a little bit of change in temperature, all of a sudden the intricate and complicated thing that you built just won't work because of many other factors
that are not out of our control.
Like, can you control humidity? Well, you can practically.
You can, but during that time,
you wouldn't know that was the problem or something.
It was. I mean, I'm gonna say it again and again. As much as possible, we want to make sure it's the best show.
Yeah,
that's why we were all pissed.
Yeah,
everybody was mad with what happened during week 1. It was not the best of opening,
right,
compared to the other seasons. But
The show must go on.
The show must go on. So we had to continue with the games.
Yep, that's right.
We can't stop the broadcast because of it's not working.
Yeah.
So let's move it next week. We can't do that
Yeah,
because
that's
we've already like for one we've already paid for the venue.
Yeah.
Teams won't reschedule their shit for just because of that. So we have to continue with it. So even if let's say that the overlays are not working, we have to continue with the game.
Yeah.
The players will have to play. They will not wait for us.
Yeah.
The game would still the broadcast would still work without the overlays.
Yeah.
I'm not saying live with it because that's not something that everybody wants to live. We want the best viewing experience for you guys.
100%. Yeah. I mean, like, at least for me, like, I don't want to. I might sound like a Muntan apologist again, like because of what you guys said about like the technicalities. But then I don't know what specifically happened that day.
I can't talk about it. That's the thing.
We can't talk about it because it's pretty confidential. But at the same time, like it must be also hard for the production team, the back end team, to kind of also deal with that because I'm sure that you guys wanted to make it good.
Here's the thing. I'm speaking like a broken record here, man. I want to make sure that we have the best broadcast for you guys, for every single one of you guys. Everybody wants to have a smooth broadcast.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to get chewed on.
Yeah.
Pausing. Cut that.
I want.
So everybody wants a smooth broadcast.
Yeah.
But technology is a motherfucker.
Yeah.
It doesn't just happen for MLBB.
Yep.
It happens for League of Legends. It happens for Dota 2. It happens for CSGO. I'm going to share this anecdote. In CSGO, there was a moment where there was a 1 hour long pause because of a PC that wasn't working for the players. And the player threw out the PC because it wasn't working.
Yeah.
Technology will fail us. We don't have control about it.
Yeah.
People that are saying that shit prod, basura prod, ano to, parang liga lang. I'm sorry, it wasn't Tagalog.
Yeah.
It hurt. I mean, at least for me, it hurts because this is my first time doing the broadcast. But for everybody else, they're already sensitized because it's just noise in the background. They know about what's happening. They know what caused They know what caused the problems.
Yeah.
So they're already like meh.
Yeah.
Not meh in terms of we don't care about what you say, but we know what happened and we're actively trying to fix it. But for me, being the first time there, it kind of it stung.
Yeah.
Because
I would know.
me personally, I want it to be a show that's worth paying for.
Yeah, for sure.
And we tried our best. We really did pour in whatever we get.
The only like I said, the good thing about it is that first week, obviously, it went bad. Come on, we got better.
We got better. Oh my god! Sorry, I gotta share this anecdote.
Sure.
I know you're gonna be closing the show anytime soon, but this anecdote, the grand finals opening for the playoffs, that was a hell of a relief for us because
it was a great opening. It was a wonderful opening.
It was a wonderful opening. We had a couple of days to rehearse for that.
Yep.
It was a couple of hours before the show started. We had the rehearsal with every single talent, with everything, with the lights, with the audio, with the cameras and everything. We had the last minute rehearsal just to make sure it worked properly.
Yeah.
Just so that we could end on a good note.
That's right.
We fucking went through that because that was like every single thing from then on out was like muscle memory. Like game starts, draft, game ends, post draft analysis, go back to caster, then do this, then insider, then what. That was already muscle memory. The grand finals opening was a different beast. Yeah. We went through that after Renmar said, Brand Esports at Blacklist International, and the M5 logo and everything else, and go to caster, fucking everybody, woo! Let's go! God, the day's not over yet.
Literally just started.
The day's not over yet. Let's get back. Let's go. Let's calm down. Let's go this. Muscle memory. And at the end of everything, after Brand got crowned the champions, and then the credits started rolling, I was the last guy that's calling the shots, because I was as assistant director, I was the voice in everybody's head. Everybody that had the headphone, I was the voice there. I was like, all right, stand by for champion reveal, which is like the Brand Esports.
Yeah.
Stand by for credits. Credits roll in 3, 2, 1, and then after the credits, stand by for champions.
Yeah.
Brand champions. All right, stand by for M5 in 10. And see you in M5. Stand by in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. M5. See you in M5. Off comms. Everybody started screaming, "It's done!
Yeah.
Let's go!" And then, for me, I got emotional.
Yeah.
I fucking cried.
You did?
It wasn't crying like it was crying where it was tearing. Like, everybody was hugging each other. Holy fucking shit, we did it!
Yeah.
Holy fuck, we ended it!
Yeah.
And then I was like, yeah, high five. I'm going out for a smoke real quick, because egress was happening where we had to clean up everything. So I went out for a smoke, balcony. I was like, damn, this tears started falling. It was like, Jesus fuck, we went through that. They say it was normal, but it's just circling back to the main point. We do our best. We really want you guys to experience a show worth experiencing. Things happen beyond our control. And if things are happening beyond our control, it's not in our control. And because for some of us, at least for me, I take it personally.
Yeah. And I'm sure that others also do.
Yeah.
Some others,
So for you guys, like, saying that tanga prod, stupid prod, or whatever, prod's not good. Sticks and stones right now, but when I read that for the first time, it sucked.
Come on. Yeah. Let's just say, all right, one thing that I do get from the anecdote and of course the story that you told me is that we agree. First week was bad.
That was bad.
Was the worst. Like I said, worst openings. We're not going to defend it. And don't tell me that I'm a Moonton apologist because of that. Right? I know it was bad. We're just trying to make lemonade out of lemons, right? But gotta say, week number 2, heading into the last part, got better.
Got better.
Which is what matters, because in life, you will hit road bumps. You will stumble and fall. You will make mistakes that are in your control and also out of your control. But that doesn't matter. What matters is how you pick yourself up.
Do not stress about things that are not in your control. That was a thing that was imparted to me that I will share to you guys. If there are things that are happening that are not in your control, there's nothing you can do about it. Only worry about things that are in your control.
There's one thing that we can do about it, and thank you so much, Nomad, for sharing all of your stories. I had a lot of fun.
I am so sorry we went all over the place.
It doesn't matter. That's why it's a podcast.
Valid point.
And this is where we end. If life gives you lemons, drink beer.
Drink beer. Nomad casts on what?
Everything.
No, not everything. Nomad cast is also a Dota 2 caster.
That's actually true.
We had an interaction. I guess you can watch me on Twitch, twitch.tv/thenomad00.
Yep.
I'm slowly starting to go back to not casting, but streaming.
Yep.
My YouTube channel, I'm gonna start vlogging about the broadcast life. So if you guys want, in-depth behind the scenes, it's something you can do. Some gameplay footage, maybe another podcast. We don't know.
Yeah, we will. Come on. Even after talking about almost 2 hours, I think there's a lot of stories, So maybe that's part 2.
That's part 2, maybe. But Wolf, thank you for having me. And for
We don't have the wide camera anymore, but yeah, that's
Thank you for having me.
cheers.
Nomad PH on Facebook. Like and share. That was a long time coming.
Nomad, that's it for the podcast. See you again next time.